Hello, everyone. I'm Bradley Hall. And for those of you that don't know me, I have been quite active in the NPE community, particularly with the fellowship, for almost 6 years since my discovery in 2018. I was briefly the CEO of the fellowship from February to November of 2023, stepping down at the annual retreat for another opportunity. I am the co founder of the NPE Mental Health Matters Support Program. I ran the annual virtual retreats and seminars for many years, and I'm the creator of NPE Awareness Month. I'm a certified NPE trauma recovery coach with a master's degree in depth psychology and currently working on my PhD in humanistic psychology with a focus on spirituality, consciousness, and integrative health. I also have a podcast with numerous episodes dealing with NPE related issues, and I currently offer an 8-week program on identity reconciliation for those who have experienced some type of an identity disruption, such as an NPE discovery. And basically, I specialize on working with people to help them move forward after experiencing some type of a traumatic identity crisis. But for today, the most important thing is very simply, I'm an NPE just like you. I want to share some quick information about my personal experience and some things that I've learned that may help you in your NPE journey, no matter where you're at. And first is the obvious, and it's the connection to this community. These people, your people, our people, this connection to this tribe is absolutely critical. It is a foundational first step in our healing process. The relationships that we built through this common bond, that it can only be understood by people who have or are experiencing this situation themselves. It is unmatched, not to mention that the support that comes with this group. I know you've recently heard from some amazing people. My advice to you is to take it all in and think about what everyone has been saying. Even if this doesn't make sense to you yet, it doesn't quite click or resonate, it will, I promise. Trust the process, trust the people around you, and trust in this group. Now, my story, my NPE status was confirmed in December of 2017. And on some level, like many of you, I unknowingly suspected for a very long time. I would often joke that I was adopted. I would ask questions. At first, when I made my discovery, understandably, like most of you, I was sad and upset, uh, which quickly turned to anger and resentment. And as many of you saw during our CBS interview, my mother was completely unapproachable and still is. She denied and denied. Now she's blaming everyone else, claiming the victim. After admitting it in a tirade, she later claimed that she didn't know until I told her. This went on and has gone on and on and on and on. And we are currently, unfortunately, no contact, which was my decision to protect my own mental health and well-being. Now, she blames my biological or my birth certificate father, since he suspected I may not be his all those years. She actually says that it's his fault for not telling her or me that he suspected that. However, I digress. As I uncovered the layers of the story, and suddenly I began to realize that finally began to make sense. And as traumatic as the discovery was and has been, it led me down a path to the truth. And for the first time in my life, I wasn't confused. Even though I didn't realize I was confused, I was no longer confused because I was now dealing with the truth. And many of us experience the opposite, that we're confused when we make the discovery, but it's because we're trying to put square pegs in round holes. We're trying to make it go back the way it was. But the truth is, now you have the truth, and it's time to put the square pegs in the square holes, and then it all begins to come together. So suddenly I understood why my mother had quarreled with her family members. my entire childhood. I understood why I was treated differently. I understood why I was different. I understood that my relationship with my mother was extremely unhealthy and toxic on many levels. One of the most profound things that I finally understood was that I didn't deserve any of this. This was one of the biggest revelations that I had. I didn't deserve any of this. This wasn't my fault. You don't deserve any of this. Now, unfortunately, we've inherited it. We've literally inherited this. But as I kind of mentioned before, we're we're now put into a position where we're forced with a decision. We can continue to try to put square pegs in round holes and just deal with it the way it is. Try to pretend to make it go back the way it was, drown in our sorrows, let our anger dictate our drive our days. We can try to just make everyone else happy, not offend our siblings or our new siblings or our new biological father or our mother or a birth certificate father, whatever the case may be, running around serving everyone's interests, keeping their secrets, trying to make everyone like us, trying to smooth it over. And this is when I realized that this was my opportunity to fundamentally change how I saw the world, how I operated, and to take ownership of this situation, but more importantly, my life and my actions. And when people use the phrase "own it," and most people understand this on its superficial level, they understand that it's maybe to admit something, to own up to it, stop playing games, acknowledge it. But it goes deeper than that. When we look at the word ownership, by definition, ownership is the act, state, or right of possessing something. Now, possession is a state of having, owning, or controlling something. Okay. Now, and there are three definitions to control: to exercise restraining or directing influence over, to regulate, to have power over or to rule, or to reduce the incidence of or severity of, especially to innocuous levels. Now, innocuous, obviously, it means not harmful levels. When we take these things in conjunction and take them all three definitions to heart, we are regulating this, we are ruling over this, we are reducing the severity of its impact on us, and we're making decisions to control this situation for our best interests, whatever that may be. But we are doing it for our best interest, because we are the victim here. Now, we have to be careful not to get caught up in being a victim, but we are the victim. We are the ones carrying this baggage. We are the ones that have to make the decision how we're going to carry it, whether we're even going to carry it. We have to put us at the center of this incident and make decisions accordingly. Now, we don't have to be selfish about it. That's completely different. I'll discuss that in a minute. But we do have to operate from a point that we are operating in our best interests. This is what I did. I took this situation, I took my results, I took my confusion, I took my pain, I took my anger, I took all of my feelings, I took responsibility for my happiness, my responsibility for my inner peace. I took it all. I became very stingy. I was no longer sharing. I was operating from that point where I was operating in my best interests. It was mine. I had shared it with everyone else unwittingly for far too long. I took ownership of my past, my present, and most importantly, my future, where I was going to go from here. What I want to share with you is when I did that, something absolutely amazing began to happen. I began to feel liberated. I began to shed the pervasive guilt, shame, fear, and the conditioned responses that I had carried, most of it unknowingly, my entire life. It started to just shed and fall away. I was shedding my skin. I finally began to do naturally and instinctively what I needed to do to heal. Not what my mother thought I should do, not what anyone else, my siblings, not what anyone else thought I should do, but what I knew I needed to do. And this, my friends, is the true definition of self-care. Self-care. And it it is it I'm not going to lie, it is very scary. It involves mindfully being aware of just how conditioned we've become to dance in someone else's theatrical production through their choreography. Then it requires stepping out of the normalized comfort zone of dancing in that theatrical production and doing something different, creating your own dance. I told you I wouldn't lie to you. I told you it was scary. It will change everything. You cannot go back to the way things were. And I'm sorry to tell you that. It's painful, but you cannot go back. It's like opening a Christmas present, opening a gift. Once you take it out of the package, you can't put it back in the package the way it came. Sure, you can try, but it still doesn't look as nice and neat as when it came. This is very similar. Okay. What we've discovered is that it was never what we thought it was to begin with. Our perception was off. Okay. We can talk about being lied to. We can talk about gaslighting. We can talk about the charade, whatever you want to say. It doesn't matter. It's best to not even really attach more negativity to that. The the point is that it has shifted our perception because it was never what we thought it was to begin with. Our reality is based solely on perception. And who we thought we were does not exist anymore, not in its pure sense anyway. But it's okay. It's absolutely more than okay. And I'm going to tell you a secret. Here's what I'm getting to. The beauty about all of this is that we actually created who we thought we were. Let me explain. Over the years, we have accepted information, advice, and opinions of everyone around us. We use that information, that advice, those opinions, and observations to actually create this persona of who we think we are. Many people, maybe outside this group, but many people, it was based on predominantly truthful information. Okay. For us, it was more than likely based on, or was not based on truthful information. But here's the blessing. Pay close attention to what I'm getting ready to say. If you created who you thought you were then, albeit unknowingly, imagine what you can now do with the truth. With this information, the truth, we now see that the emperor has no clothes. It's futile. He's naked as a jaybird. And everyone else who's been playing along is an absolute fool, but not us. We know better. And as Maya Angelou famously said, we do what we can until we know better. And when we know better, we do better. Well, now we all know better. All of us together, united, we now stand armed with the truth at a fork in the road. One of the paths is one of regret, shame, and never ending pain. That path leads you back over the same terrain you've already been going over and over your entire life. The other path, however, is the path to being truly who you want to be who you need to be, and perhaps more importantly, to be who you were actually born to be. Now, it's not going to be easy. Change is always hard, and that's where the term growing pains comes from. Okay. I'm going to warn you, your inner circle, your circle of family and friends may change, and it may change drastically. And there may be mourning the living if that happens. Sometimes we have to leave people we love behind because we are growing and they are not, or they're growing in a different direction. It's part of life. Think back to all the people, all the friends you've had when you were younger that you've separated from, that you still care for, but your lives went in different directions. And just because people may be toxic and not good for us does not mean that there are not strong emotions and a strong bond that needs to be severed and mourned. It doesn't mean that we don't love them. It means that we've chosen to love ourselves and put ourselves first. Now, some of you may not like hearing that because you've been taught your whole lives that putting yourself first is wrong. And I'm here to tell you that putting other people first is wrong. Putting ourselves first in the correct context is exactly what this world needs. One of the things I say often is it is not our job to make others happy. It is solely our job to make ourselves happy. Then we share that joy with others. And if we get the two of those confused, in the end, no one is happy. And I want you to think about that. Think about who you've been trying to make happy. Is it you or is it everyone else around you? And if it's everyone else around you, are they happy? Because I know that you're probably not happy. When you bought your DNA kit, you thought you were buying just a test. But in reality, you were buying the keys to your true identity. You bought it, you own it. Now I want you to use it. You have now been given the unique opportunity to finally, truly become who you were born to be. Because as I've discussed here, you get to decide. You get to make a choice. And not making a choice is making a choice. And now you understand why my motto, why my tagline on all of my work is that being blessed is a choice. And now you have that choice in front of you. I wish you all the best. I appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you today. Please know that I'm here. I'm here for you. I have many NPE resources available. Most of them are free, including lectures, mindfulness sessions, free courses, and NPE related podcast episodes on both audio and video. That all this from the last 6 years. I have them organized in a series of emails. If you want to sign up for my email list, and I will get them to your inbox. You can also find me on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. The links are on my website, which is thebradleyhall.com. But finally, I just want to thank you for your time and your attention. I want you to know that, again, stay with your peers and your group. We all understand what you're going through. So with that said, again, I thank you for your time today. I thank you for showing up. I know you're here because you're searching for answers. And I want to commend you for caring enough about yourself to look for these answers. And I hope that something I have said here today has helped you on your journey and will help be the catalyst for your growth moving forward. And I truly, absolutely wish all of you nothing but the best. Thank you again.